What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to my channel. Tonight I'm working with my 2001 BMW R1150GS motorcycle. So springtime is here. It's almost riding season, but I've got a few projects I need to get taken care of before we get there. One of those things, I need to charge the battery. It's completely dead. Can't get the bike to start. And then the second thing is I've got a really sticky throttle cable. So I want to see if I can't get those cables pulled, see if we can lubricate them. Maybe they're just a little bit bound up. Or if we need to replace them, we need to get that done now before season really kicks away. So, but if you've never accessed the batteries on these bikes before, or never worked on these bikes before, it's not as easy as it is in some other bikes or some other things that I've worked on in the past. So just want to make this video really quickly to show you how to remove the gas tank, because you do have to at least lift, if not fully remove the gas tank, to even access the battery to charge it. But it's a huge gas tank. If you've got one of these bikes, you know that. So let me stop talking here, show you what I'm talking about. All right, guys, here's the bike. Love the bike, by the way. But you see the size of that gas tank. These boys are large. Okay, but the battery is actually pretty much directly beneath this portion of the gas tank. So there are several things you've got to do in order to remove that tank to access the battery. First thing, seat needs to come off. All right, that's fairly simple. Just pulls off. This is an aftermarket seat. It's been on and off the bike several times, so yours may not come off as easy as that, but they do just snap in place. All right. Down here, though, you've got two fuel line disconnects. I already removed the plastic covering here. That's why you don't see that on the bike. But you've got two fuel line. These are just quick disconnects. You push a button and they come apart. May not be too easy with one hand. So electrical connector has to be disconnected. And then you've got these two vacuum lines right here. So it is important to know which line goes to which, so that when you reassemble everything, you're attaching the correct vacuum line back where it belongs. A couple of ways to do that. You can mark either side of one of these lines with either some paint marker, colored electrical tape, whatever you need to do. But you need to mark that in some way to where you're gonna know which vacuum line goes back to the correct one. And then you have one bolt that comes out, it's right here. Quick note is you need to be very careful when you take that bolt out, because there is a nut on the back side. You can see that nut right in here. You need to hold that while you remove this. Otherwise it's gonna fall down and you're gonna have a not very fun time getting that out. So you've gotta do all those things first in order to be able to remove the gas tank. So I'm gonna go ahead and do those, come back, show you what it looks like with the tank off. All right, guys, got the tank off. As I check my battery here, this battery is at least 5-6 years old, so I'm not sure that that's actually gonna take and hold a charge, but we're gonna try. May need replaced, we'll see. But again, here are those two fuel line disconnects. You'll be able to know which one goes to which because they have the opposite end adapter left on the tank. My electrical connector was very, very, very difficult for me to get disconnected. So just be patient, don't break it. This is where that bolt came out here. And then on the two vacuum lines, what I did to be able to tell which one goes back where is I left the connector on this one here, on this end of it. And then on the other hose, I left that connector on the tank piece. So as I said, these tanks are not small. I mean, you can take a look at the size of that. That's a pretty big gas tank. It is heavy. Mine does have quite a bit of fuel in it, which was a mistake on my part. So I advise that you either run it out of fuel first or just be ready to lift because they're not light. So I told you guys I need to charge the battery. That's one thing. I'll probably actually pull it off of here and put it on the charger. And then the second thing is that my throttle is really sticky. I don't know if you can see, you see this line here on my grip. When I turn it, it doesn't snap back into place. So one of the things I'm gonna need to do is I'm gonna need to remove those throttle cables. And if you haven't done that before, it's not a very easy project either. I'm gonna show you kind of here. Throttle cable comes out right here, and you can follow that down the front fork. This is actually where your tank mounts. That throttle cable just kind of slides, slithers through here, and actually goes into that little black junction box inside there. I don't know if you guys can see that plastic box inside there. That's where the throttle cables are routed to. And then you've got a throttle cable on either side of the bike. You got two throttle bodies. One here, going to this throttle body. And of course it routes into that junction box as well. Sorry if you guys can't see that very well. It's difficult for me to see and I'm right here looking at it. And then you have your other throttle cable here. Same thing, up and underneath. And then the other thing to go along with these is these bikes have a choke. It's not a true choke, but what it is it's a switch that you lift up when you're cold starting that actually opens your throttle bodies slightly whenever you're going to start the bike on a cold start. So we've got the same kind of routing here on this side. That cable comes down just like it did on the outside from the throttle, routes around and goes into that same junction box. There's the mount for your tank on the other side. So I've got some work to do to figure out, one, how to get these removed, what all needs to come apart, what doesn't need to come apart, just to get them, just to be able to access those throttle cables. But this is what it looks like. Seat, tank removed. All right guys, so next video, we'll have those throttle cables taken out. We'll see if that battery held charge, and we'll start working on those cables, see if we're gonna be able to lube them, if we need to buy new ones and replace them. But if you've ever done this job before, if you've removed these throttle cables on these types of bikes before, comment down below. If you've seen other videos that reference how to do it, share those links, guys. The whole point of my channel here is to just share what I know and mainly to learn. I'm not a mechanic. I'm just a regular guy who likes to tinker, likes to work on his own things. So if you like this type of content, stick with me, subscribe to the channel. I've got some other projects coming up, a couple of jet skis to get prepared for the lake for the summer, and just some outdoor stuff just to share with you guys. So subscribe to the channel, comment if you've done this before, if you know of better ways to do it. If I'm doing it completely wrong, let me know, and we'll see you guys in the next video.